Hello everyone, and welcome to Ava Learns English. My name is Ava. If you are watching this video right now, there is a very high chance that you already understand English. You can read it. You can listen to it. You can even think in it sometimes. But when it's time to speak, you hesitate. Your mind suddenly feels empty. Your heart beats a little faster. And you start worrying about mistakes. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. This is one of the most common problems English learners face all over the world. And today's topic is for you. English sentences you must know before speaking. Not advanced English. Not complicated grammar. Not difficult words. Simple sentences. Because the truth is this: most people don't stop speaking English because they don't know grammar. They stop speaking because they don't know what to say first. They don't have ready sentences. So before we talk about fluency, before we talk about confidence, we need to talk about foundation. Think about a child learning to speak. A child does not start with grammar rules. A child starts with small, repeated sentences. And slowly, confidence grows. Language works the same way for adults too. So in this video, I want you to relax. You don't need to remember everything. You don't need to be perfect. Just listen. And imagine yourself using these sentences in real life. Let's begin. One of the most important sentences you must know before speaking English is, I think. This sentence is powerful because it removes pressure. When you say, I think, you are not claiming that you are 100% correct. You are simply sharing your thought. I think this is a good idea. I think we should wait. I think it will rain. This sentence gives you freedom. Many learners wait for perfect English before speaking. But English does not require perfection. It requires participation. I think allows you to participate. Now let's look at another sentence. That is extremely important. I'm not sure, but this sentence is honest. And honesty builds confidence. You don't need to pretend that you know everything. Native speakers say this sentence all the time. I'm not sure, but I think this is correct. I'm not sure, but we can try. This sentence protects you and keeps the conversation moving. Silence breaks confidence. Speaking builds it. Now let's talk about listening. Many learners feel embarrassed when they don't understand something. They smile. They nod. But inside, they are confused. This creates fear. Instead, remember this sentence. Can you please repeat that? This sentence is polite. This sentence is normal. This sentence is confident. When you ask someone to repeat, you are showing interest, not weakness. English is a tool for communication, not a test. Sometimes you understand the words, but you need time to think, and silence feels uncomfortable. So use this sentence. Let me think. This sentence gives your brain time. Let me think for a moment. Let me think about it. Native speakers use this sentence naturally. There is no rush. Good communication is calm communication. Now, let's talk about questions. Conversation is not only about speaking. It is also about asking. A very simple but powerful sentence is, what do you mean? You can also say, what do you mean by that? What do you mean exactly? This sentence shows curiosity. It shows clarity. And it helps you understand better. Another important skill in speaking English is agreeing and disagreeing politely. You don't need big sentences. You can simply say, I agree. Or, I don't agree, but I understand. This sentence shows maturity. You can have a different opinion without creating conflict. Now let's talk about experience. Even if your English is simple, your experience is valuable. So remember this sentence. In my experience. In my experience, this works better. In my experience, learning daily helps. This sentence instantly adds confidence to your speech. People respect experience, not grammar rules. Sometimes, you understand something clearly, and you want to respond naturally. So use this sentence. That makes sense. Oh, that makes sense. Yes, that makes sense now. This is a very natural English response. It shows understanding, without long explanations. Now listen to this part carefully. Many learners feel ashamed about their English level. They try to hide it, but confidence grows when you accept where you are. So remember this sentence. I'm trying to improve my English. You can also say, please correct me if I'm wrong. This sentence shows effort, and effort is respected. Another sentence you hear often in English is, that's a good question. You can use this when someone asks you something, and you need time to answer. This sentence sounds thoughtful and polite. At this point, I want you to notice something important. All these sentences are simple. There is no difficult grammar here, no complicated structure. But these sentences are powerful because they help you start speaking. And starting is the hardest part. In the next part, we will move from foundation to daily life English, the kind of English you need when you are working, traveling, talking to people, and handling real situations. Because speaking English is not about impressing people. It's about expressing yourself clearly and confidently. In the first part, we focused on foundation sentences, sentences that help you start speaking without fear. Now in this part, we move one step forward, because once you start speaking, the next challenge appears. Backhand index pointing right. What do I say in real life? Not in a classroom. Not in a textbook, but in offices, on phone calls, during travel, and in everyday situations. This is where many learners struggle. They know words, but they don't know ready sentences. So let's build them. One very important sentence you must know is, I'll get back to you. You use this sentence when you don't have an answer immediately. I'll get back to you in some time. I'll get back to you by evening. This sentence does two things. It gives you time, and it keeps you confident. You don't sound confused. You sound calm and professional. Another very useful sentence is, that depends. Life is not always yes or no. That depends on the situation. That depends on the time. Short sentences like this make your English sound natural. You don't need to explain everything. Now let's talk about misunderstandings. They happen in every language. They happen to everyone. So remember this sentence. I didn't mean that. Or, I didn't mean it that way. This sentence is very important because it clears confusion without creating tension. Good English helps you communicate, not argue. Now something very important. Many learners feel shy about asking for help, but confident English speakers ask clearly and politely. So remember this sentence. Could you help me with this? This is polite English. This is respectful English. And it works everywhere. Office, home, travel. Now let's talk about boundaries. Speaking English is not only about saying yes. It is also about saying no, in a respectful way. So remember this sentence. I'm not comfortable with that. This sentence is honest, not rude. It helps you express yourself without fear. Confidence in English also means confidence in your decisions. Another small sentence that native speakers use very often is, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it works. This sentence keeps conversations light and flexible. Now, when you are learning something new, you should talk about progress. So remember this sentence. I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to speaking English. I'm getting used to this routine. This sentence shows growth, not perfection. And growth is what matters. Sometimes situations feel tense or emotional, so you can use this sentence. It's not a big deal. This sentence reduces stress and keeps conversations calm. Simple words can change the mood completely. Now let's talk about uncertainty. You don't always need to sound sure. You just need to sound honest. So remember this sentence. As far as I know. As far as I know, the meeting is tomorrow. As far as I know, this is correct. This sentence allows you to speak without fear of being wrong. And finally, a very polite and natural sentence you should use often. Thanks for letting me know. This sentence works in messages, calls, and face-to-face conversations. It sounds respectful, mature, and fluent. Now pause for a moment. Look at what we did. In both parts of this video, we did not chase difficult grammar. We did not try to sound advanced. We focused on useful English, because fluent speakers are not people who know everything. They are people who use simple sentences confidently. Let me say this clearly. You don't need to wait until your English becomes perfect. You don't need to wait until your grammar improves. Start with what you have. Use simple sentences daily. Confidence will come first. Fluency will follow. This is Ava from Ava Learns English. Keep practicing. Keep speaking. And remember, every time you speak, you are already improving.